Hey, what's going on, Battlefield fans and YouTube viewers? Wild.Fox here, bringing you back to Sharqi once again. If you haven't tried out the game yet, go to battlefield.playforfree.com. This day I was in the mood to get up close and personal with a pump action, and where else to do it but an all Sharqi/Basra server. Thanks again to Legit Gaming Clan. This game was filmed on their all Sharqi Basra server. This time we return with a standard Spas-12 as requested by Doman824. I will be giving some pointers of use of a pump-action shotgun, as well as some stats for the gun itself during my respawn times. I did have quite a few good games with the Spaz, but I didn't get all of them on film. Rushing right up the center, confident no enemies have made it to Bravo just yet, I notice and spot out some snipers and troops on the hill, making a mad rush towards Bravo. I take a bit of damage, so I quickly throw down a pack and regain some HP. Taking a bit to decide almost gets me kills as I encounter some enemy rushers coming to flank Bravo from behind. I quickly dispatch both aggressors and reload the 2 shells that I spent. I decide the front of B is a little bit too hot for me to assault, so I attempt to flank Charlie from the construction side. I check the road for enemies, and Frenchly Fry spots and engages me. As I wait for him to close the distance, he takes the first shot and drops me like a bad habit. From 0 to 20 range, the Spas-12 does 24 to 26 damage per pellet and fires 8 pellets at once. From 20 to 30 range, it does 17 to 20 damage, and from anything beyond 30 range, it was reduced to 9 to 11 damage per pellet. It only carries 8 shells, but it fires much slower than the USAS series, so burning through ammo isn't that big of a problem. But make sure your shots are on point, because chances are you won't have enough time for a second one. I spawn back at Bravo and decide to continue my trip down the hill, assuming any enemies in the area are looking towards Bravo and not at me. The assumption was wrong. I spot out an enemy for my friends and keep on my way as I'm spotted by the sniper Eater ZS and eliminated quickly with his pay-to-win VSS. We have been pushed back to Alpha spawn at this point, and my first 2 lives were relatively wasted. I begin to lose my cool already, and instead of flanking, I go straight in, keeping me in close combat where I can take full advantage of my pump-action shotgun. I make my move up the side of Bravo, hugging the wall and keeping me as concealed as possible, a few quick ducks and weaves, and I have cleared the first wall to Bravo spawn. Getting taken down yet again, I hope my team has been following me up the right side to help the suppression of the newly spawned rivals at Bravo. Killer 9779 takes me down with the hollow sight OMP-45 from center. However, it looks like a suicide squad has managed to grab Charlie from behind enemy lines. I notice this guy trying to make a move towards Alpha, and to my surprise it takes only 1 shot at this range to take him down. I make my way towards the center, even though I don't have the necessary range to suppress Bravo. I think it may prove effective if I manage to get in there. A shotgunner approaches me, having heard his shot. It's risky to have another close-range shotgunner this close to you, but it proves useful as I bait him in successfully. Now having seen what I'm dealing with from the far side, I flank from the right side of the spawn again while they're concentrated on my previous location. I run in and grab 2 kills, but I do miss the res on my friendly. So I decide to take cover, throw down a pack to me, and I continue to keep the spawn suppressed the best that I can. I only grabbed 4 on this run through, but it does manage to keep them really busy while my team should be continuing on their job. If you keep to close quarters, it shouldn't take more than 1 shot to kill someone. And it only takes 0.6 seconds to reload a shell, so if you play on this and take cover when need be, you should be able to do quite well even against an automatic shotgun player. I've come to realize, regardless of the shotgun you're using, pump or auto, if it's in Sharqi, expect to be hated for it. Seeing the enemy are still down to 1 spawn, I'm not trying to capture the last point as much as I'm trying to cause confusion and panic within the heart of the spawn itself. I decide I want to catch the spawn a bit more by surprise this time and take a bit more of a scenic route. Making sure I'm completely loaded before going into combat, chances are more than 50% of the enemy team are spawning at this location at this point in the game. Coming from the side, the wall can be used as very good cover, and the angles force the enemy to engage you in close combat, which is perfect for my Spaz. I missed my knife but finished the job with a blast either way. Having already alerted a few by killing them, I know I need to keep concealed for a bit and hope that they assume one of them has killed me before I hop back into the fray. It's important to know that most soldiers don't use the suicide exploit to respawn faster. So, this generally gives you 10 seconds from the moment you killed your first hostile to clear as many as possible and attempt a flag cap. Turns out I was a little too slow, as someone has noticed me and snuck up behind me as I was advancing on this soldier who hadn't seemed to notice that he had respawned yet. I went to Jared's, grabs me for a kill, and puts an end to my little spree with his default G3A4. Remember, the standard Spas-12 only holds 4 magazines and has a full capacity of 8 shells and only reloads 1 shell at a time. Compared to the 870 combat shotgun, the Spaz actually has a much tighter spread, which makes shots like this possible when I take these double kills. But I didn't check my right flank, which gets me ended up killed again by the G3A4 player. I went to Jared's. Remember, when getting a good view on this kill cam, you can notice where action is taking place. I just utilized this when noticing that the action is going towards the road. I decided to make a flank around right side. I do encounter some tangos, but I do cause quite a ruckus and speed spawn once again. Remember, the same is using as any shotgun, whether it be automatic or pump action. The closer you get, the more effective and more powerful you get, because the more pellets make contact with your target. Looks like Killer 9779 has become quite my nemesis this game, scoring more than 2 or 3 kills on me, I believe, at this point with that hollow sight up 45. Once I respawn, I take a bit to assess the battlefield, and I notice that Charlie has fallen under attack. However, I assume the bulk of my opponents will no doubtably still be at Bravo spawn. Knowing this, I do decide to continue assaulting where I am positive that there are hostiles to engage, and I allow my team to kind of right the situation at Charlie Flag in the meantime. Looking for a bit of revenge on Jared's, I'm going for the knife kill, but my kill ends up getting stolen, and justice is not served. Missing, however, does lead me to a little bit of a revenge on Frenchie Fry, who ended my life in the beginning of the round. Making my move on Frenchie forced me a little bit out of my comfort range for this guy, as I did soften him up a bit, but only end up grabbing an assist. Taking the space we have made to make sure my Spaz is completely loaded, I continue to make my push on Bravo, scouting everyone on the way and that I see for anyone in the area. As I make my turn back towards the spawn, I nab this kill in the doorway. As I'm beginning to get a bit overconfident, I do fail to check on my 6, and it does cost me my life yet again. What a lot of people overlook about shotguns is the Spas-12 is actually not the strongest of the shotguns. In fact, it's actually one of the weaker ones. But due to its fire rate, a lot of people pick that over the Spaz or the 870. But it burns through ammo like no tomorrow. It is very important to note that not only do the pump actions do more damage, but they are actually easier in use of terms of ammo management. A player that can manage his pump action shotgun ammunition will spend more time in combat killing things and less time hiding behind cover. This is also in part to the fact that you can load a single shell at a time, and a single shell can keep you alive when you don't have that extra 3 extra seconds for a full clip reload. I grabbed 2 kills. One looks like to be my nemesis for this game, and because of the timing, around the time I take cover is around the time that Killer can see exactly where I am on his kill cam, and he uses this feature to hunt me down. You can actually use this feature to create an ambush scenario, but in this case, not remembering my timing got me killed yet again by a level 7 of all things with a simple pay-to-win weapon. At this point in the game, it is starting to wrap up, as the enemy has taken Charlie, but the closest base to me right now is Bravo spawn, so I'm probably going to continue my assault like I have the majority of the game on there. But as far as it goes between the differences between the pump action and the automatic shotguns, both USAS and the Spas-12 are 500 game credits, which gives you more than enough and more than enough power and time to get more than 500 game credits back on your weapon. And with this, as you can see, I am staying at the top of the leaderboards with a simple play-for-free weapon. I didn't spend any real money on it, and there's a lot of players out there nowadays, I've noticed, especially since Tier 3, that are saying our game credit weapons have been nerfed since the release of Tier 3. This footage was actually filmed before Tier 3 was released, but I haven't really noticed that big of a difference when it comes down to the newer weapons or whatnot, because I've fallen quite in love with shotguns recently, and I guess I'll figure it out when I get back to my G3A4 and my longer range weapons. But with the shotgun, it's always been a one-hit kill. And if you play using cover properly, you should be able to stay on the top of the leaderboards against your pay-to-win counterparts. That about wraps it up for this game, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe, and check out the video that Badly Burned and myself commentated on Nolveer's gameplay, another great shotgun player. Hope to see you guys soon, and see you on the battlefield.